maybe cracks the top 3 favorite types in the game. I should change my thing for this. It is Poison type. Poison type. Oh my god, Poison type is such a well-designed type. It is so good. They had to work to get here. Don't get me wrong. Like Poison type was dreadful when it first came out. It was boring, dreadful, not even like interesting at all. But they've made Poison into something really cool and really like just I think it's just a really well designed type. It has its flaws, it has its weaknesses, and damn, like it is just a really good type. Like it's if you heard me talk about steel, you can almost apply anything that steel applies except for poison. Poison's more stally, less defensive. Actually, I might as well just wait until I get to the actual talking about poison. But I love poison type, and that starts with like a lot of my I didn't put like everybody I love on poison, but I've got a couple of my members that I really like. So hopefully we can kind of explain what's going on here. But poison type is such a well-designed type, and it's really prominent in the OU competitive scene. So I'm really excited for today. The electric type kind of bummed me out because of how badly it performed. So hopefully poison type can turn it around. I have a really good feeling about my team going into this. I expect really good things when I'm talking about poison. So let's talk about poison as a type, and then we can go from there. So we're gonna kind of try to set it up, and poison type. Wow, Game Freak did a number on poison type. It was starting off the bottom of the barrel when you first start Gen 1. You're like, what the fuck is this type? It's just on my grass type Pokemon, and it just makes me weak to Psychic. Why is Gengar a poison type? I'm dying to Psychic over and over again. Come a couple generations later, I'm like, oh, Weezing. Ooh, where are you coming from? Weezing? Oh, man, like, sign me up. Muck? Oh, this guy's fantastic. Like, 4 gens later, it took me how much appreciation I can have for a pile of fucking sludge. And a blimp that likes to smoke 20 packs a day. This thing's amazing. But yes, poison type has come a long way. Hey, what's going on, Waystall? It's come a long way. And it has made some headwaves into the competitive scene. So let's talk about why it's good competitively and what makes poison the way it is. So poison type is probably in the top 2 defensive types. If you're in top 2 defensive types with steel, you're doing something right. There's numerous reasons why it's so good defensively. We will talk about that once we get to more of the top types. It's a defensive type, and it has some offensive capabilities. It's gotten better offensively more and more since Fairy came in. Ever since Fairy came in Gen 6, Poison has become more and more used offensively instead of just being kind of a defensive type solely. Now you can use... Hey, what's going on? Hey. Welly boys, you're hosting my stream. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate it so much. So, Poison type has become more useful offensively besides just using status effects because you can now hit fairies. And Sludge Bomb is still a really strong move. They keep buffing poison moves over and over again. Gunk Shot came out. Let's see, Toxic Spikes I think came out like after Spikes normally was there. So you just have more and more stuff that's just there. So Poison is now kind of balanced. It's still defensively, don't get me wrong, but it now has some offensive capabilities, which is good. Let's look at its stats. As you can see, defensively, very nice right here. That's unevolved. All right, so special defense and defense. Welly boy, oh man, has leveled up and is learning about poison type right now. One of my favorite types in the game. So how you doing, man? Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. So, as I was saying, defensively, you can see Poison's got some really good things going here. And it's got pretty good special attack. And then speed, again, no slouch. In comparison to Steel, you're seeing it's already really fast. So, it's got some fast Pokemon in it as well. Because like, apparently Poison things like the run and just get some toxins in you. I don't really know. It's got Crobat, so it's really fast with that. So let's talk about in Gen 1 and Gen 2 in terms of type relations. What makes Poison in comparison to other types so good or so bad? I'm leaning more towards good, obviously, by my tone. Alright, Gen 1. Let's ignore this because Poison type was basically Psychic's bitch back then. You just use Psychic on everything and Poison would just instantly die. Gengar would just die in one hit. and you had no ghost moves to hit psychic. And then other poison types, such as Venusaur and you know, your other grass types, the Vileplume and Victory Bell, they would just get melted. So they were pretty worthless. You didn't want to be poisons. Yes, there's a new dragon poison type, actually, I have to talk about. So when we get there, I will mention that as well. Anyway, Gen 1, ignore poison. It was bad. And it stayed bad for maybe a couple generations. It took a while for it to pick up. I think the physical special split really helped poison type, because it allowed its moves to be special. Sludge Bomb is now a special move, and since a lot of these grass-type Pokemon have higher special attacks, or a lot of the Pokemon around there that had higher special attacks, Weezing's one, and I think, I can't think off the top of my head, but Poison became a special attack, and it still had some physical moves, so you got a lot better in that regard. So let's talk about, look, it changed the most out of all of these types. It changed in other vids. I only did like Gen 1 and then it's, the next gen. But now it changed from 2 to 5, and then it changed from 6 to everything else. The poison type used to be able to get poisoned, and no, never could. Let me look. Poison type cannot be poisoned. Grounded Pokemon, poison type Pokemon will remove toxic spikes, yada yada yada. So that's good. Poison type has another utility to it. Really cool. Grounded type Pokemon, okay. Corrosion, I guess that's why they added that. Not really that important. Corrosion doesn't really apply too much, but I can talk about it when I get there. Take care, Welly Boy. I hope to see you around soon. Okay. Let's talk about the most recent history for Poison, and then we can kind of keep going. Alright. Defensively, what makes Poison, since we have to talk about a premier defensive type, why is it so good? Alright, let's start off with a fact that's not here, and say Poison type is amazing because it can't be poisoned. So, walls usually have a problem with, you can take them down with Toxic, or like Poison type can just drain them down with HP and stop stalling maneuvers. Things like Chansey, or Skarmory, or Ferrothorn, Kartana, or Tangrowth. I guess Tangrowth doesn't really fit into this, but defensive bulky Pokemon, like Steel types and Chansey, who has Natural Cure, aren't affected by Toxic. This includes Poison type, because they can just switch in and take spikes, or they can't be Toxic, though, so you can't whittle them down, except you have to attack them. So that's something that is just a bonus thing for Poison types. The biggest, one of the easiest status moves to acquire for anybody. Well, ya boy. Okay, there we go. Well, ya boy. There we go. Sorry. So it can't be poisoned. That's a big plus. That's a bonus for Steel too. Can't be poisoned. Can't be even hit by poison moves. Very good. All right. Next, what types is it resisting? Why is it so good? Fighting. Godlike. You need to resist fighting moves. Fighting moves, I've said throughout my entire vid section, fighting moves are easy to acquire, and on physically fast, annoying Pokemon, with like Mach Punch or something like that. So, you need to be able to resist fighting. That is an amazing type. Bonus point right there. Poison, again, picking up now, so being able to resist poison is pretty good. Pretty good. It used to be not that great, but now it's getting better and better, because you need for fairies, so poison is now a prominent type to resist. Bug, again, types that are just kind of thrown out there. U-turns you can block, which is pretty good. Bug buzzes and stuff, again, pretty good. Grass, hey, I will take it. This is 5 types that you're taking. It's still not the biggest, but whatever. You just throw another type in there for bonus. Your biggest boons are Fairy and Fighting. Fairy, you're one of the few types that resist it besides Steel. Fairy has like Dazzling Gleam, Moonbeam, or Moonlight. Is it my favorite type? It's in my top favorite type. So I can really talk about Poison no matter what. Poison's a really good type. Fairy is a really prominent offensive type. It's on the Tapus, so you're going to see that a lot. So you need a Poison type maybe to resist those or deal with those, like a Sludge Bomb or something like that. Stopping Tapus is critical. They're OU, you see them everywhere. You see one per team about. Every other team has a Tapu on it. Very good. Other fairy moves, again, fairy moves are pretty common to get, and they hit hard and fast, and they're usually special. So, pretty annoying. Let's talk about why it's maybe not so great. Ground. I can see ground being a problem. You get hit by earthquakes and such. Okay, fine. Annoying, frustrating. That's probably its biggest gripe, is ground being able to hit it strongly. But other than that, it's fine. Okay. Psychic. Who gives a flying shit? Psychic is not an offensive type. You don't see it like ever. No one puts Psychic as like their fourth move. If you're filling out a Pokemon list, okay, you have Magnezone, and you get Flash Cannon, Thunderbolt, Signal Beam, because that's one of the few moves it can get. You're not going to get Hidden Power Psychic. You're going to get Hidden Power Ice. You're not going to pick up Psychic, even if you could. You'd get Hidden Power Ice. You don't need Psychic on anything unless it's a Psychic-type Pokemon, or you're just kind of being crazy and know you need a specific Psychic move. Rarely do you see this type, and maybe on Alakazam is going to be a problem, or other Psychic types that are in OU. You're fine. So, already, defensively, God tier. You're talking like Steel types level of God tier. It's 1 and 2 right there. No questions asked. So Psychic, who gives a shit? Doesn't matter. Don't even focus on the Psychic. Like, yeah, it hurts, but you shouldn't be seeing it anyway. If you're seeing it, somebody's smoked up dope before they put it there on their move list, or you should be expecting it. What's up, Delta? All right, 2 times. Fairy, again, critical. Very, very critical. Grass, again, there's some bulky grass. Granted, they're usually steel and paired, but you want to have a few things that hits grass. But I will say that grass is usually grass poison, or grass steel. So, who cares? Offensively, against grass, whatever. You might run into some stuff that's grass, but cool. Alright. Half damage, or half to poison, okay? You shouldn't be attacking a defensive type with poison. Ground you'll find it just counters poison. There's nothing else I can say. Ground will make your day really unpleasant. There are some common ground things, so I have to watch out for those. But ground is just a counter to poison. There's nothing said. And since ground is a really good type, that can be dangerous, but poison has a ways around it with some different Pokemon and levitates and flying types and steel. Or not steel, I guess other ways around it. We'll talk about those when we get there. Rock, okay. You can get rocks, you don't do any damage against rock, but you probably have another move that can hit rock, like a steel, or name any move out of the types and you hit rock, because rock's, crappy. And then Ghost, because Ghost used to be poison, is my prediction on that. But Ghost, again, we're not too focused on poison as an offensive type. Usually it uses Toxic, or it uses a status move and deals with Pokemon in that way, or it doesn't use poison-type moves besides like Sludge Bomb. You're usually using it for Fairy. So I'm focusing more on the defensive aspect and giving poison a pass on any of its offensive capabilities or lack thereof. And then immunity to steel is pretty horrific. I can't hide that, too. So we're not selling poison on its offensive side, so it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. But hitting fairies, that's good. That's good right there. That's necessary stuff right there. And Bulbapedia will back me up. That says defensive type is one of the best in the game. Oh, block status effects. Oh, no. Weakness to ground. Oh, baby. Yeah, see, a lot of them are grass poison or bug poison, so poison flying types with levitate. Yeah, so that's why. It's so good. It's so good. We'll talk about Salazzle when we get there. I will talk about Salazzle because he's on my team for my poison team. So I've already kind of mentioned everything about poison in terms of its type capabilities. So, yeah. Let's talk about its moves. I've bragged about poison enough. Let's talk about its moves. We use the Uber. I'm not talking about the Ultra Beast. I'm not using the Ultra Beast. It's OU. Alright. Baneful Bunker, only on one Pokemon, Toxapex. Who cares? All these other moves suck. Clear Smog you will see today, I think. Yeah, you'll see Clear Smog. It's basically a roar and it just does damage, or it's a hazing move. It's clear status effects. It's pretty good. I like it. Cross Poison, okay, whatever. It's a physical poison move. You probably should be using Gunk Shot instead, or Poison Jab if you have it, and most have those, unless you really want to crit stuff. Okay, dun dun dun. Poison Powder, who cares? Purify, Sludge. Sludge Bomb. Hey, your Ice Beam and Thunderbolt of Poison type right there. This move is fantastic. A 30% chance of poisoning enemies. Ooh, watch out. Yes, I'm going to poison battle after I talk about poison right here. Sludge Wave. A little more damage. It's like Heat Wave. You do 10%, and you just 10% poison instead of 30. I value to 30% poison over 5 damage. So that's why I pick usually Sludge Bomb. Toxic. Ah, yes. Top 10 move in the game. It is a TM that you can get on any Pokemon basically in an entire game. I think it's pretty much any Pokemon. Helps you break down walls, helps you break out stalling. It can be used on anything. And a lot of Pokemon will use it. So Toxic is amazing. I can go on and on about it. The accuracy is a little shaky and pretty frustrating when you miss Toxic. But hey, being able to break down walls and kill Pokemon after a while is just fantastic. It cannot be understated. This move is so good. So good. So that's good. Right there. Toxic, top 10 move in the game. By far. Toxic Spikes. Probably the weakest entry hazard in the game because Steels and like Poison can just pick it up, or Steels can just ignore it, and Flying type can ignore it. So it's not that great. Not that great. Oh, various Pokemon can apply it. I'm not too worried when I see Toxic Spikes. Other people are. I don't really care. You can get rid of it. At most, you get like one Pokemon poisoned or something like that. But I don't think it's really worth it. I think you're just better off just putting Toxic. That way you can pick and choose what you want to use instead of burning turns. But to each their own. And then lastly, that's pretty much it. Poison doesn't have any poison moves. It just really doesn't. A lot of them are either legendary or like who gives a shit. And then I forgot to mention Gunk Shot, wherever it is. Where's Gunk Shot? Yeah, Gunk Shot. 120, 80%. Poison Jab is the same way. They're physical moves. They're basically like your Ice Punches. This is basically like your Wild Charge. It has a negative effect of having accuracy debuff. It might poison the enemy as well. So, yes. Sometimes when you only have one layer of Toxic Spikes, it only just gives the normal poison type, which is actually garbage. It means you only do like 1/16 per damage per turn instead of it like adding each time. So it's pretty bad when you only get one layer up. That's not great. Let's talk about the Pokemon in OU that are in poison type. The moment we've been waiting for, a lot of Pokemon. I will talk about the Poison Dragon that's new, and I haven't seen it yet, so I'll give my limited experience with it. Okay. What the fuck is this thing? Fire Ghost. This is like a new game for me. Okay. I have to learn what I'm doing. It's since Sun and Moon, Ultra Sun and Moon at the time of I'm recording this video has just come out Friday. There's a lot of unreleased Pokemon or like Ultra Beasts that got released that are OU or could be OU, and everybody knows if you follow my channel that I love Ultra Beasts. I love them. And by that, I mean them and Tapus can go straight to hell, but I hate them. I hate them. Celesteela might be my least favorite Pokemon in the entire scope of the Pokemon universe because of how hideously ugly it is in both inside and outside. It's got a terrible soul. Anyway, with that tangent out of the way. Yes, we were battling in Sun and Moon. Anyway. Okay. With that little tangent, I haven't seen this, so I can't actually do a vid on this. I might have to do like an ninja vid. 151 special attack and 127? Look at its speed! Its defense is bad, but... Okay. Alright. Okay. We'll be pissed about that later. I'll probably run into that fucking thing. I have to know what I'm dealing with. God damn it. Its speed is 107 base... And then it's 151 special attack, and it's Ghost Fire. Okay. Let's ignore it. Just ignore it. Just pretend it doesn't exist. God. What else is there? I gotta see if there's any new Ultra Beast real quick. Give me a second, guys. Lycanroc Dusk. OU. Really fast. Rock. What's the difference between the normal Lycanroc? Oh, because it's got tough claws? Okay, yeah, that's probably why. Fast and does a lot of damage, and Rock actually being fast is unique. So, there you go. And then what else we got? What else? Come on, you gotta show me. What the fuck is this? Like my... Is this a urinal? What? Rock Steel. Beast Boost. 211 defense? And 131 attack? Rock Steel? I guess ground can hit it hard in fighting. But it's got 211 attack. What's the point? And it blocks fire? I guess you can hit with water. Sorry, this is my first time seeing these new Ultra Beasts. You're gonna see the uncut reaction out of this. They moved some Pokemon out of this. Pokemon got bumped down. I thought. Maybe not. Maybe not. Okay. Alright, we're gonna talk about Poison OUs. Because I just got confused. Oh, God. Alright. Poison OUs. We'll skip those other Ultra Beasts right now. Gengar. Overrated. I'll start off with it. I'm sorry. It's overrated. Cursed Body. Not good for a special attacker. It's annoying, but I think Levitate would be better. I think Levitate might be Uber. That's why. I'm not sure. But yeah, it's overrated. It's got really high speed and really high special attack, but ground move or a psychic move or a ghost move or a dark move basically one-shot this thing. Look at its paper-thin defenses, 75 and 60 and 60 HP. You one-shot Gengar with something fast or has a scarf, it's over. And since dark is really easy to acquire or knockoff one-shots this thing. I think Gengar is really overrated. I think it's not that great. Sure, you can put like a choice specs like Shadow Ball or whatever. I think it's really overrated. I don't think it belongs in OU. I think it belongs in maybe a tier below UU. So I don't think you have to worry about Gengar. And I'm being my honest opinion with that. Don't worry about Gengar. You probably have something that can beat it. Straightforward. Next Pokemon. There's maybe not that many Pokemon in OU. Okay. Alright, this is a new Ultra Beast. It is Dragon Poison. Now, I will say, there is another Dragon Poison that I really like. It's one of my favorite Poison types. I didn't put it on my team, because I've already used it for my Dragon video. Poison Dragon is a really good combination because it blocks fairies, okay? And that's really good. Really good. So being able to block fairies with a Dragon type saves your bacon. And since Poison's a really good defensive type, tagging it on with a really good, like, a Pokemon that has good offensive capabilities with, like, Dragon Dance. Let me look at its moves. Dragon Dance, maybe. No, it's got Nasty Plot. Okay, it's a Nasty Plotter, so you don't even Dragon Dance. Nasty Plot, do you have Gunk Shot? You do. You don't need that, though. You have Dragon Pulse. What do you have? Dark Pulse. Sludge Bomb hurts. Okay. Alright, I can see it. I'm really worried about this thing's move pool. I think it's actually pretty garbage in terms of move pool. It's got Flamethrower, though. Flamethrower, Sludge Bomb, Dragon Pulse, Nasty Plot. That's what I would do. Really fast, Ultra Beast, special attack. Okay, and its typing's really good. And it's got Beast Boost, so your special attack's gonna go up. Alright, I can see it. I haven't experienced it yet, so I don't know how good it is in terms of a lot of its stats, but it's really fast and has a lot of special attack, so okay. I can see it. We'll give it we'll bounce it off. I'll have to experience it. 127 special attack and 121 speed. 121 speed's more important by far. Boosted speed. Okay. Wow, I'm surprised. I think its typing really helps this thing out, because other than that, I don't think it would be OU. Alright. Alright, here we go. Here's a really frustrating Pokemon. Toxapex. Okay. Toxapex, the most devastating Pokemon that's a base Pokemon, not like Tapus or Ultra Beast, that they put into Sun and Moon is Toxapex, by far. I think Toxapex is the top non-legendary or non-unique Pokemon in Sun and Moon. You can quote me on this. It is a bitch. There's a reason why. It's poison water. So Tentacruel used to be like the king of poison water. This thing just took over. Big thing is it has a regenerator, so you heal upon switch out. Its other two abilities are actually really insane. Merciless would be really good for an offensive Pokemon, and I've seen some Merciless run. I don't think it is, actually. And in Limber, you can't be paralyzed. Again, on other Pokemon, it's not that bad, but on Toxapex, you just want to run Regenerator. 50 HP, pretty crappy. But 152 and 142 in your defenses with a really good defensive type means you're set up to succeed. Yeah, and you can't be poisoned, so you can't be wounded down. It's got Baneful Bunker, so if you attack it, you'll get poisoned yourself. It's got an amazing move pool in terms of Recover, Baneful Bunker, Toxic Spikes, Toxic, Sludge Bomb, Scald. Scald is an amazing move for a physically defensive Pokemon. So this thing is a pain in the ass, and especially with Recover, you cannot bust this thing. It's hard to break. It only is weak to Earthquakes and Psychics and Electric. It's frustrating. We'll say it's really frustrating. So, good luck. You're not going to have a Psychic type, and it probably will know when an Earthquake's coming. And Electric, you probably won't kill this thing, even with one stab move, unless it's like choiced or something like that. Because it'll predict that and switch out and use Regenerator, or Baneful Bunker it, or something like that, and then recover. So this thing is a pain in the ass, a very good defensive wall. This thing proves why Poison type is really good right here, defensively. And then lastly, I've already talked about Venusaur. We all know about Venusaur. It has thick fat, so you can't break it with fire and ice, which normally would beat this. Ground is protected by grass, and you can hit it with Psychic or Flying. Pick one. Both of them not very common offensive moves, so it's really hard to break this thing. And it's got really good defenses and 80 speed on the fattest thing in the league. I don't know why. He's just quick and really wants to reach the sun. A thing that likes to just sit and absorb sun has 80 speed. Sounds questionable. I don't really know. But 122, it's got Leech Seed, it's got Sludge Bomb. This thing will make your day a living hell. It's got Giga Drain. Venusaur, Mega Venusaur is really frustrating. Again, a very defensive type and has really good offenses to boot. 100 and 122. That's gonna put some dents in you. So that should be it. Dun 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 dun. Okay, and are there any other ones? Scolipede is solely because of speed boost. Other than that, it's pretty meh. Alright. Okay. Okay, we're going to talk about my team for Poison, and then we're going to go from there. So, since I love this type, I'm going to have fun talking about this type. I did something interesting for this. Apparently, I made 2 mono teams before going on the stream, so it's in bad glory. And when I say the stream, I mean before I even knew about you. Okay, and then Mega T-Tar makes me mad. Yeah, Mega anything makes me mad. Trust me, I don't like Megas. Okay. I could not make a Poison team without my boy Weezing. Hands down. One of my favorite types, or one of my favorite Gen 1 Pokemon is Weezing. I love this thing. He looks one of the most uncreative thing. He's like, hey, put United States as a Pokemon, and you got Weezing right here. That's basically what we got right here. I love Weezing, and if it's a crime to love a pile of slime or a balloon slime monster, sign me up. I'm in. A big thing is it's got Levitate. That's good. It's going to be necessary for my team because they're all weak to earthquakes. So I need Weezing to come in and absorb those. I run this set basically on every Weezing that I run. I run Will-O-Wisp. I run Flamethrower because it's really good for dealing with steel types or something like that that want to stop being poisoned or whatnot. Pain Split is your healing type. Clear Smog eliminates Snap Boost. And Will-O-Wisp is good for physical sweepers. This thing will destroy Kartana. It'll destroy Dragon Dancers. It'll make everything cry that is physically inclined. Besides maybe Koko. Tapu Koko could... No, Tapu Koko's not even that good against this thing. I think like the Psychic Fighting thing, Medicham could destroy me, but this thing destroys a lot of physical runners, so this is good. All right, Nidoking. Everybody loves Nidoking too. Let's be real. Nidoking's one of, I think, like a really popular Gen 1 Pokemon. I know it's up there for me. Yeah, Gallade is the one I was thinking of. Nidoking. I did something interesting with Nidoking. I made him a physical special sweeper because he usually can go either way. Most people get caught off guard. Nidoking has a humongous move pool, like absolutely bonkers move pool. He could make his move pool, and then give Nidoqueen the rest of his moves, and you'd still have 2 fantastic Pokemon right there. So Nidoking is the offensive one, usually. He's got Sheer Force, which makes you more offensive. He's got Earthquake, which doesn't have a side effect anyway. He's got Sucker Punch, so I can deal with quick Psychic Pokemon, which is Alakazam. And then Ice Beam is going to be really nice, because Flyers for Earthquake. You gotta have that, and then Sludge Bomb for stab, and it deals with Fairy. So I have an expert belt, so when I hit something that I'm super effective against, and hopefully with my predictions I can hit something that I'm super effective against, we'll be rocking really well. Vileplume. Alright, I had to have one grass poison type on my team just kind of for representation. Not really, but he's my special wall. I really wish I could have gotten a Leech Seed on him. I can't, so I have Effect Spore, Black Sludge, Giga Drain for more healing, Synthesis for healing, Sleep Powder just for disabilities and stuff and eliminating threats, and then Aromatherapy just for utility and maybe cleansing my guys from burns or paralyzation or something like that. And then Toxicroak. Okay, Toxicroak, I love this thing. It's one of my favorite Gen 4 Pokemon. Toxicroak's my dude. I have a Choice Scarf on him. He's going to be my Choice Scarfer. People will be caught off guard by how fast he is. Another big thing is he can absorb water moves that are directed at Nidoking and Salazzle because he has dry skin. So that's going to be working. My team works really well if you like have multiple layers of Pokemon that like, here's what happens when I see Nidoking is going to get hit by a ground move. I switch in Weezing. Or if he's going to get hit by a water move, I switch in Toxicroak. If he's going to get hit by a psychic move, I have Drapion. So I have a bunch of those kind of moves that kind of protect each other. So I really like it. Toxicroak has Thunder Punch for flyers because he's fighting, and most things will be like, I need to switch in Celesteela. My boy Celesteela. I'm so creative and everything. Stone Edge also blocks flyers, but different kind of flyers. And it also hits fire. So I guess it hits fire harder than maybe I could have had an Earthquake. Maybe I should have Earthquake instead. I think I can get... I'll think about it. I'll see how it goes. I'll do a couple test runs. Gunk Shots for Stab. Cross Chops for Stab. I will say that this Toxicroak is going to be... I'm just going to name it Gamble. And all of his moves have an 80% accuracy. So if I lose, it's because I just fucking missed. Because I have 3 80% moves on this, or 85%. Something really low. Thunder Punch is the only 100% accuracy. So I'm going to be gambling a lot when I use this Toxicroak. But hey, it's fucking for the memes right here. Let's go. Drapion. Okay, he blocks Psychic types. Very important for my team. If there is a Psychic type that I can't deal with, Drapion can switch in and get a free switch, and he's Dark. So he'll be able to absorb that. I would use Muck Alolan, but I've already used it for Dark type, so I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to use Drapion. You don't usually see this thing because it's hideous. It kind of looks like an enemy from Centipede or Star Fox, actually. Like, I don't know, like a fucking... I have no idea. It just looks fucking weird. It looks like a Kirby enemy, too, or a Paper Mario enemy. It just doesn't look like it belongs in Pokemon. But it's got Sniper, Choice Band, so I'm hoping it crits with one of these moves. I think there's X Scissor too, or Poison, not Poison Jab. What's the other one? The Poison move. How does this not have Cross Poison? It's a fucking Slice! Oh, what is this? Anyway, let's not complain about what it should and shouldn't have, even though it should have Cross Poison, because, you know, it's literally slicing things with its claws. Okay. Cool. Poison Jab instead. But this thing's going to be critting, hopefully. It's almost like I'm just praying for a crit, but it's banded, so it should hurt. And it's got a terrible like move set here, but hey, it is what it is. I'm getting Earthquake. I'm gonna regret it, but I'm getting Earthquake because I need to be able to beat some specific things. Okay, and somebody asked me to talk about Salazzle, and I will talk about Salazzle because he's on my team. I've run Salazzle a lot of times. When I first started doing Showdown after Pokemon Sun and Moon came out, I wanted to see what Salazzle could do in a competitive environment because I sure as hell wasn't going to raise it in Sun and Moon. And let's just say I was really disappointed. Corrosion sucks. Let's talk about why Corrosion sucks. I had a discussion with my roommate actually about this. Corrosion is really good in theory, but really bad on Salazzle. Look at Salazzle's base stats, okay? We're talking 64, defense is 60, special defense is 60, and 68 HP. This thing has no staying power, whatever. Am I on the right channel? I can change the stream quality to 360. I have no idea. I'm going to be battling very shortly here, so... Alright, Salazzle is... for having Corrosion, it's one of the worst things to have Corrosion. You can poison any type. That's cool. That's very cool. You could break, like, Celesteela, or... you could break Steel types or Poison types that are trying to, like, wall you off. Very cool. Very cool ability. Why is it on Salazzle? Who doesn't want to have the move Toxic? Or... Imagine if it was worded like this. Imagine if you could use Poison-type moves on any type and it was neutral. So you could hit Steel type, or you could hit Poison type, and then you are able to poison them. I think that'd be really cool if Salazzle could use Poison type moves on Steel. But Salazzle doesn't even want to use Poison type moves on Steel. You know why? Because it's Poison Fire, who already has another type that hits Steels really hard. Steels don't want to switch in this thing. They'll die. So you'll have something like, I don't know, another special wall that switch in on Salazzle. So it's just really cool in concept, but it's on the worst Pokemon it could be on. I can't think of another Pokemon that Corrosion is worse on than Salazzle. I just pointed out like 3 different things. I just really wish that Salazzle